Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, got a new episode coming your way. Let's get it. Dun. Hey. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Arsenyl Hill Show, where the takes get spicy, the drama gets messy, and me, your host, I love the argument. I love a good argument. So let's go ahead and get this show started. I'm your host, Arsenyl Hill. Welcome to the third episode of the Arsenyl Hill Show. Again, this is a judge-free zone, ladies and gentlemen. For all the viewers out there, everybody in the chat, go ahead and drop a comment, drop a like, subscribe. Shout out to the Unwrap crew for going ahead and bringing me to the stage and bringing a new show for you guys. Let's go ahead and get this party started, shall we? Yes, you guys know how the show go. I ask questions, you answer it, I give my opinion on it. Whether you like it or not, I'm here to debate with you, all right? So let's go ahead and get this party started, shall we? First thing I wanted to talk about today was on my mind this morning. I had a little epiphany. Fresh and Fit. Shout out to Fresh and Fit, by the way, but we're going to talk about them a little bit. Because the first question I got for you guys that I have a really, really strong opinion on, do alpha male podcasts hurt the culture for young men? I'm going to ask that again. Do alpha male podcast culture hurt young men? Here's my take. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm going to say, yeah. My personal opinion, 100% absolutely. Well, I won't say 100% absolutely. But going back to the Fresh and Fit comment I made earlier, by the way, love Fresh and Fit. Shout out Myron and all of them. However, I do feel like the alpha male culture is kind of putting a dent in our young men. It's kind of like misleading them a little bit.
You hear that, princess?
It's it's kind of misleading a little bit. You know, I think we got to be serious about the situation here. Not everybody's the same. Not everybody's going to make the same type of money. Not everybody was raised the right way or raised the right way according to society standards. So everybody is kind of walking a different path. So to structurally tell a group of men that they need to be dominant, so to speak, and assert their dominance when it comes to women, I think it's a little misleading. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. You know, I mean, it's okay to coach someone or try and give them advice on how to maneuver through some of the difficulties that they're dealing with. But to just flat out and tell somebody, hey, you got to treat a woman like a straight dick, or you got to be an asshole, or put a bitch in her place, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't know. You know, I think that's kind of I don't know, man. That's
your perception, or is that, or could it be that they're doing their best to show somebody, men or some men out there to walk in confidence?
I mean, yeah, like I said, it's okay to like give advice and build someone's confidence, but I think at a certain point it gets to a certain point where it's like, okay, at what point do I show that I was raised right, or raised to respect women, or, you know what I'm saying, raised to be a good leader? You know, it kind of pokes at people's morals and values.
Not everybody's a good leader. Not everybody was meant to be leaders. If everybody was meant to be a leader, then there would be way too many chiefs and not enough Indians.
Yeah, but at the same time, wouldn't you go about a way of teaching it differently? I mean, would you be so stiff-armed about, like, okay, you got to treat a woman this way in order to get this, right? I mean, I don't want to say I'm playing both sides on it, but I do think fresh and fit are right in regards to, hey, you got to set your boundaries, worry about yourself, build yourself up individually, work your finances out, and then, you know, pursue the women that you're looking for. But to just flat out and say, like, hey, like right off the bat, like, tell a bitch what it is.
Do you know what shoestring pimping is? Serious. You know
I don't.
Okay.
I know what pimping is, but shoestring pimping is
Do
love.
you know what gorilla pimping is?
I don't. Inform me.
Okay. Do you know what finesse pimping is?
Well, that's crazy, Chad. I don't know what any of these motherfucking pimping is. Well, come on, teach me, man. Teach me.
Okay, so in even in pimping, right? So my point is there's levels to shit, right? So a shoestring pimp is a pimp that just nickel and diamond, right?
Okay. Okay.
Gorilla pimp does shit by force.
Okay.
Right? Beats his woman, does whatever. Not condoning any of that. And when finesse pimp is going to use his mind and use his brain to talk a motherfucker out of anything.
Okay.
Right. Point being is that not everybody's a leader. Not everybody was built and put on this planet to be a certain way. Some people were just, not saying that they're meant to be warriors or anything like that. And some people were meant to lead those warriors. Everybody has a position and just need to understand their position in life. And so understanding your position is understanding yourself. Some people just aren't built to lead.
True.
Some people aren't. They're not built. They may be able to lead you in a religious way, but not be able to lead you into battle.
Right. Okay.
I mean, and all battles aren't physical. You know what I'm saying? My point is that there's levels to life. There's levels to shit. There's levels to being a man. There's levels to being a woman.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was talking to someone today about being yoked, and they didn't understand what, even from a religious standpoint, it's a metaphor. Being equally yoked, because a yoke is what they put on cattle, oxen, cows, bulls, whatever, when they're working, right?
Yeah.
And the yoke is this wooden mechanism you put around their necks, and that is to make sure that they both are working with the same amount of power, same amount of resistance. Meaning, if one breaks its leg,
the other side,
the other side doesn't do shit, but continues to work. But it balances them out, right? Okay. So that one does not work harder than the other one just because one is injured.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Not everybody's equally yoked either.
Yeah. I mean, that's
the Bible says that. Not to get religious, but the Bible says that when you're with someone, you need to be equally yoked. It doesn't mean she has to be submissive. It doesn't mean that she has to be whatever. It means that if you are down, you guys still work together as a team. You still work. It does not stop the workflow.
Right.
It doesn't. She is not working harder than you. You are not working harder than her. And that's emotionally, physically, and mentally.
Right. I mean, that's fair.
I'm just,
No, I mean, thanks for dropping the knowledge, by the way. I'm pretty sure the chat enjoyed that knowledge too. You know what I'm saying? Every day you got to learn something new. But I mean, I guess that goes back to me saying, shouldn't there be a way that we give out this certain type of information, right? We don't want to, I guess.
You also have somebody in the audience here with you, so I'll lend that to them as well. But
yeah,
I said this shit to my son today. Everything starts in the home. Everything. Yeah. Every damn thing.
Yeah.
So even my sons learning how to be leaders in their own right and in their own way still starts in the home.
True.
But I have to lead by example in order for them to even understand what leadership means. Right?
Facts. 100%.
And it's up to them afterwards, once they walk out the door, how they take that knowledge, how they use that knowledge, and everything else. I am in no control over them once they walk out that door. I just have to know that my job has been done here in the house. And anybody that seeks that shit out on the internet, there's a problem. They should probably go talk to their dad or their mom.
Which a lot of kids are now picking up a lot of stuff on the internet. I want to shout out, I got 2 new guests in the studio with me, guys. Shout out Dion and Sheila. They're joining us on the podcast today. They want to give us their opinion on some of the questions that we asked. And say what's up to the chat, guys. Say what's up to them.
What's going on? What's going on?
Yeah. We here to have a good time. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. This is not a shy podcast.
Okay, hello.
But ladies and gentlemen, I mean, I just need to know, my question for the chat, anybody that's viewing this live right now, shout out to everybody. Appreciate you guys stopping by and fucking with your boy. This is the Arsenyl Hill Show, a new show on the Unwrapped podcast channel. Shout out to them. You know what I'm saying? For supporting your boy and trying to get some new shows out there to you, to the people. Anyway, my question to the viewers, piggybacking off the Do Alpha Male podcast hurts young men. I need to know what you guys think, man. What podcast do you think misrepresents men or women? There's a lot of podcasts out there that, like this one, personal and opinionated. I don't want to say clickbait, but they do things to try and get a conversation out of you. Try and pick your brain and see exactly what you're thinking about. So I'm gonna ask the guest that's in the studio with me right now. I want to pick their brain and see what they think. What do you guys think? Do you guys think some of these alpha male podcasters are detriment to our young men? What do you think?
Well, my personal opinion about that, about detrimental to men, sometimes it don't have to be that the men are seeking the women. Sometimes the women seek the men.
This is true. 100%.
Sometimes the
100%.
women seek the men.
Yeah.
And they be put on a like a standstill with them within their self because they don't really understand how this come about.
Right.
And they be like, "Whereas I'm doing this right," because now they're on eggshells because they're in a high pedestal
Right.
within their self. They're trying to live up to their means of being a man
Right.
and to,
Yeah.
provide for them
Right.
when they barely can provide for themselves.
So in a sense, like respectively to both genders, I just think we both need to get it together. If I'm being honest, right? Men need to do better as far as
Facts.
showing chivalry to their woman,
is
respecting
facts.
their woman. Opening doors, rubbing the feet, rubbing the back.
Yeah, there's
Both-
a lot of that though. It's definitely over the years. I didn't mean to cut you out, but like
No,
over
you
the
good.
years, and this me being the younger one here, being 26. You feel me? It's there's a lot of especially men my age, not opening the doors, walking with the female inside.
The
You know what I'm
sidewalk.
saying?
Yep.
Fucking opening up car doors, just
Yeah.
getting random flowers
Yeah.
throughout the week, just because to show her the appreciation. And it got to be a lot of the times, bro. The women nowadays, even older women, they don't give a fuck about all that shit. They just want some flowers,
Yeah.
some appreciation to show that
Excuse
they
me.
care about something.
Simplicity.
Comment on that.
Simplicity.
Got another guest that want to speak about that.
You can take it off and then just
Okay, since I'm on here.
Speak up. Speaking that mic, girl. Come
Okay, since I'm on here, I'm 50 years old, older woman speaking. We really don't care about a lot of things. We just really we want to be treated with respect, basically.
Fair.
You can bring the flowers if you want. It's cool.
on. Facts.
But yeah, that's basically it as an older woman.
Ladies in the chat. Anybody in the chat that's
Definitely
a
need
lady?
respect.
Okay.
Respect, and
100%.
with the respect though, the respect also has to be given.
Yes,
100%.
and
If you-
consistency.
yeah, consistency is definitely key.
I can't
Also.
stand inconsistency.
Right.
And
Okay.
y'all
so-
got me on this thing. Don't make me start really talking.
Okay, so what it? No. This is please do.
Don't-
Please
don't-
do.
don't.
This is the whole point of this show, and I'm glad that you're here because now the viewers get to get a woman's perspective. I know they get tired of
okay.
hearing a man's perspective all the time.
This is true.
So yeah, I mean it's good to have a lady on the show. That way we
Okay.
can get a woman's perspective on some of these questions. We can have an actual dialogue, a good debate, and actually come to a middle ground on some of these
Okay.
topics, right? So I mean, in a sense, yes, I think both male and female, we do just need to do better in regards to how we treat our significant others. And like Pops was saying, like a lot of it starts at home, right?
Mhm.
A lot of these teachings are taught at home. Some, and I hate to say it, but some of these mothers out here want to be their kid's fucking friend. They don't want to be a parent. They want to be their
And
kid's
that's
best
where they
friend.
fuck up at.
And
Exactly.
it's okay to be a friend to your child, but it has to be a line drawn, right?
Up to us only a certain
Yeah,
extent
that-
to where it's like
exact-
alright,
yeah,
you gotta
you want-
draw that line.
Exactly. You want your kid to be comfortable enough to come and have conversations with you, but you got to draw a line. And a lot of these mothers out here just simply want to be friends with their daughters, right? They go club
sons.
hopping with their daughter. Yeah,
And that's
Well, I
another
mean,
thing
yeah.
with respect.
yeah,
They
yeah.
won't respect you.
Yeah, no, 100%. And yeah, man, I just going back on the question, the alpha male being a detriment to us young men, I think.
I feel like it's up to a certain extent with that too, because there are some guys that do have valid points that are good, that are
Yeah.
key points that some men should take.
Yes.
Like I listen to a lot of those podcasts, and I Well, that's because with me, I know how to filter out the bullshit
And that's
with
yeah.
the fucking realness. You know what I'm saying? Because majority, not even a majority, I'll say half of the time, it's super misogynistic. But also too, there are very good key points as like men that we should be fucking doing. You know what I'm saying?
No, 100%.
But a
I
lot of
agree.
the other stuff though is definitely a lot of like
I
misogynistic, fucking weird
not to
shit.
mean to cut y'all off,
No, go ahead.
but with that, dude, you know, I understand that, but sometimes we as men, we be trying to figure out what the female mind think is will sometimes too, when they be like, we're not being compassionate, we're not being sensitive, we're not being understanding, we're not listening to their feelings, we're not hearing their emotions.
Well, that's because
But
we're logical thinkers.
and that's we're logical
Facts.
thinkers. So when we think in logic and we're trying to, you know, explain to them, well, it should go like this, and then maybe it should have like this, you know, that's when the blow up start. When you try to ease and be relaxed with the whole conversation.
See, and I
Because
think
you
that's
can't-
what Fresh and Fit podcast really try and hone in on with the men, boundary setting. A lot of us have trouble setting those boundaries because we don't want to make the other person uncomfortable, right? We don't want to make them feel like we're putting these boundaries on them so they don't want to be themselves,
You know
or
how
act like
contradictory
themselves.
you sound right now.
I mean, it is contradicting, but at the same time, it's true though.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, it's not.
It really is. Okay,
No.
so let's say, for example,
If you're talking about a man setting boundaries on a woman, you know how preposterous you sound. Let me tell you something about
a man can't put boundaries on a woman.
No. Boundaries should be set, period, between a man and a woman.
Right.
But also too, within that, there has to be a safe place. The
Right.
woman, a man looks for security in a woman in a different way that a woman looks for security in a man.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
So if a man, and this is from my own experience, and if a man looks for a safe space, right?
Correct.
If I cannot cry in front of this woman in a real way,
Right.
if I can't express how I truly feel about something in a real way, I never will.
Correct.
Once that gets stepped on by a woman to a man, he's going to shut the fuck down.
100%.
A woman needs to be protected. Now, same thing. Her protection is different than a man's.
Right.
But also her emotional protection is way more sacred than a man's.
Correct.
In her eyes,
Right.
her need for certain things are different than a man.
Right.
The boundaries of that should only be the respect.
Right.
The respect. That's the single solitary thing.
Right. No,
Between a relationship between a man and a woman is respect. And
Right.
so if I respect the woman, then I respect her space.
Right.
I respect what she feels. I respect how she is as a woman. And I respect, most importantly, her love for me.
Right.
And if I respect her love for me, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to act right.
Correct. 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
100%.
real
So
therapeutic.
If she respects those things out of you, that you are her protector, and that doesn't necessarily mean monetary.
Right. No. 100%.
Motherfucker, there.
100%.
I came up with this theory. I told you about the Tupac theory.
No.
Okay, let me explain that real quick. Now I'll drop the mic and won't say another word.
Let's go. No, you're dropping gems. Let's get it.
So I'm sitting on a stoop at this house we used to live in, right? It was a gang infested area. Me and this guy are sitting on the porch, and another dude who's a gang member comes walking out of his house. We're looking directly at him, and we know him. He walks outside of his fence. He says, "What's up?" We say, "What's up?" to him. And me and this guy on my stoop are drinking. A car pulls up. It's another gang member. They know each other, and his girlfriend. They're both drunk as fuck. Super drunk.
Lady.
Strike number one. That's in my mind, right?
Right.
They get out of the car. They start arguing with the dude. The two dudes start arguing. Then the girl starts yelling at the dude that he's arguing with, calls him a bitch ass nigga and all kinds of shit, right?
Right.
Now all three of them are getting into it, right? The dude started yelling at the girl. The other dude's now trying to protect this girl. This whole shit is happening. The guy next to me says, "Damn, that's what I'm talking about." And I look at him and I said,
What?
He said, "That's what I'm talking about. That's a ride or die right there." I said, "For real?"
No.
And my first thought was, you got to back up. Yeah. My first thought was, damn. And I said it to him. I said, you want to sleep with Tupac? And he laughed at me. He goes, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I said, "Look at this shit." I said, "Number one, they're both fucking stupid because both of them are drunk.
Yeah. Yeah.
If my woman is drunk, I'm staying the fuck sober to make sure she's all right.
Yeah.
If I'm drunk, she should be sober to make sure I'm fucking all right.
100%.
Not both of us fucking drunk." And he's like, "Well, you might have a point there." I said, "You know what your ride or die is? Your ride or die is what any woman probably should do, is follow a man, from a house to a cardboard box. The difference, no, seriously, listen to me though. Listen to me. The difference is you sleeping with Tupac, when you wake up in the morning, both of you in that cardboard box in the alley, she's gonna nudge you, wake you up and say, go get us a Lucy from the fucking store. Go get us a cigarette. The woman who's the real one is gonna wake you up and say, baby, come on. We gotta get up. We gotta get motivated. We gotta get out of this cardboard box. And you as a man is gonna get the fuck up and you're gonna do that shit. And she in turn is gonna motivate you and help y'all get the fuck out that cardboard box.
Amen.
So I looked at him again. I said, so you really want to ride or die? You really want to sleep with Tupac? Because nobody does.
Nobody.
A woman doesn't want to sleep with Tupac.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A man definitely should not want to sleep with Tupac.
100%.
Fuck a ride or die. I don't want her to die.
Right.
I want her to stay alive.
Yeah.
Right.
I want her to ride with me everywhere, but I want her to be alive. I want her to get me out that jam, not help me get in that jam.
100%. So like, okay, so
Man,
speaking of the alpha male, so we could talk about alpha female then, right?
Tupac theory. You know what I'm saying?
So
You really want to sleep with Tupac, nigga?
nah, hell no. Not I, said the cat. No, but that's actually a good point, man. And it just goes back to what we've been taught at home. You know, and social media ruins a lot of stuff for relationships, if I'm being honest with you. But yeah, moving along then. I know you guys got some things you want to chit-chat with me about. So if you're watching the podcast live, go ahead and drop your comment in the chat. You got any questions for your boy or anybody that's on the panel tonight, go ahead and drop your questions down low. I'm going to keep this show moving along. Is feminism misrepresented online? Is feminism misrepresented online? Woo! Man, we might be talking about this one for a little bit. And we have a lady in the studio, so this conversation
Trans women are the best.
Might drag out a little bit, guys.
Trans women are the best at sports. Swish. The testosterone surging through our muscles gives us super strength. Well, most trans women don't have much, if any, testosterone in their system, but that doesn't mean we aren't still better. After all, we do have the biological advantage. It's not like athleticism is determined by anything other than what's between your legs. But if that's true, it means that some trans women are great athletes, but some are flat out bad, just like cis women. And trans women lose at sports all the time, but that doesn't get reported on. Because they want you to be scared of us, like we're taking something from you. And the very small number of trans women who do compete do it for the love of the game, not because they need attention or couldn't win at men's sports. Nah, that can't be true. Trans women are definitely the best at sports.
Now, I had to play that video for you guys real quick because, you know, the world is kind of in an uproar with this whole LGBTQ transgender movement thing. Well, not necessarily movement, but more so the transgender issue. I have a daughter, so my take on this video has a lot to do with feminism. To be completely honest with you, I've never been the type of person to be okay with a transgender man transforming into a woman and then going into playing women's sports. Me personally, I think genetically you're still a man. So you're still stronger than every woman on the court. You're still faster than every woman on the court. And me personally, I just think it's unfair. And for this person to blatantly disregard how anyone else feels about the topic, it's absolutely absurd because transgender people are the same group of people that want us to, you know, accept them for who they are and call them by their pronouns, you know, and, you know, just keep everything cordial. But like when stuff like this is being done, it's like, how serious do you really want us to take this? You know, like, one, I think it's completely asinine for this person to be doing it. You know, you never know who, clearly he doesn't care who he offends. Right. And I really wanted to talk about this. Chat, whoever's, you know, watching this live, want to drop down your questions or anything in regards to the video that you just watched. feel free. I'd be happy to have a dialogue with you. But my take on it, I'm not okay with stuff like that. You know, I don't want my daughter putting in hours, thousands of hours of hard work, and then it gets snatched by somebody who's genetically a man.
Wouldn't that be crazy if LeBron woke up tomorrow and decided he wanted to play in the WNBA because he felt like a woman?
Exactly.
He'd score 150 fucking points and
a game.
And his teammates would probably score like one, probably because of a foul.
Literally.
And the other team would score very little.
Literally. So like
that's craziness.
Absolutely insane to me. And
a man is genetically built different. I don't care whether you take testosterone or estrogen or whatever in the hell. A man is that's like a woman that is transitioning to a man deciding they want to box with men.
Right.
Get your ass out of here. Get your ass. Your chin is not built like a man's chin. Your body ain't built like a man. Listen. And genetically speaking, a man's bones are
denser.
More denser.
Yeah.
Come on now, knock it the fuck off.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely ridiculous, man. Do you guys want to chime in on it? How do you guys feel about the video you just saw?
Honestly, no comment.
That's fair.
I'm just being.
That's fair.
No comment. The reason why I'm saying no comment. Facts. No comment.
Even more of a reason to have a comment, though. Be honest.
No, like, yeah, it's. I mean, this show is.
It's not fuck the show.
It
ain't the show.
Yeah, it's reality.
The reality of it is. Let's talk about.
Let's just talk about reality, man.
The whole point of everything that you was talking about, it being like a man's place for this, or a man should have confidence in this. A man should be that. A woman should be this. A woman should be that. Okay, well, let's talk about it then.
Let's talk about it.
A man should be a man, and a woman should be a woman.
Point blank. And that's the perspective that you have, and there's nothing
wrong with that at all.
Like I said, like no comment.
Right.
You know, because I'm an older male.
Mm-hmm.
No comment.
Fair enough.
You know, they have their sports. WNBA.
See, that's the thing, though. If they were,
I'm listening.
If they were trying, like, if they created a separate league for transgender women, totally understandable. I can 100% respect that. I'll back it. I'll support it. Hell, I might even go to a game or two. But to sit here and have, I'm just saying it could be interesting, man. It could be fucking interesting. I'm just saying they got the women's football, contact football. I've watched that. It's pretty fucking interesting.
Nah, what you watch was what they call that lingerie.
No, that's different.
Knock it off.
That's different. They do have a full contact sport for women though, in all pads. They really do. I bullshit you not.
And what they wear, boy shorts. Come on, man.
No, I swear that's the lingerie league you're talking about. So there's two different leagues.
And that's full contact, sir.
Yes, full contact, helmets, pads.
Full contact.
Yeah, full contact. Well, lingerie is kind of like flag football tag. They like hug each other to the ground.
No, come on now. You're trying to backtrack on what you just said.
No, seriously, we are talking about two different sports. There's a lingerie league where they have like half pads, they got bra and underwear on. There's that. And then they have the for real I think it's a WC something, but it's a real thing. Chat. Come on now. Y'all know it's a real thing. But no, they got for real helmets, pads, cleats, pants with pads in it. I swear, I kid you not. I promise you.
Oh no.
I kid you not.
We're about to find out.
Look, he's gonna bring it up for y'all. I promise you, man. I kid you not. We can double back on that if you want. So going back to my question, is feminism misrepresented online? Yeah, man. I think society is telling women to like fuck men. I don't like that.
And the reason why I'm not gonna give a comment on that. You know, we have people that's in our family. You know,
they're gay.
They're gay,
right? But that's different from transgender.
You know, so I don't. You know, like I said, man, I stay in my lane.
That's fair. I mean, you're entitled to an opinion, though. No?
Stay in my lane.
He's trying to be politically correct, guys.
No, not being politically correct. You know, I'm staying within my faith. You know, I'm a born again Christian, so a lot of things I don't agree on. You know, and just living by the Lord of Jesus Christ, man. You know, I'm supposed to bridle my tongue.
Yeah, no.
So I will bridle my tongue.
Fair. That's fair.
And the
100%. That's
Lord
fair.
Jesus Christ, he would handle that. He would take care of all that.
That's fair.
That's all I can do.
That's fair. And you know, speaking of the Lord Christ and Savior, there's a lot of Christians out here that, you know, condemn that. And I've seen Christians that are okay with it. You know, it just depends on the person, I guess. But feminism, I think society is telling women to, I don't want to say hate men, because that would be bad. But they are convincing women that niggas ain't shit. If I'm being honest with you, that's just my hard take on it. Like it, love it, sue me, whatever. Society is telling women to say fuck men, and I think that's bad. On culturally, that's bad for society. That's bad for the family and the homes. That's bad. Like it's getting to the point now. I mean, you to the women that's 35 and 40 plus, you guys can chime in and that's with me. I mean, like you guys are more on a biological time clock than us men are, right? They are. They are. Women hit menopause at a certain age and it starts becoming harder and harder to have a kid, right? And if we're going off biblical terms, women are here to reproduce, right or wrong.
Facts.
Their main goal outside of what do they do personally is to reproduce. And if you're 40 or over, you're on a biological time clock. It's just as simple as I could put it, right? No, I'm not saying you can't have a kid after 40. It's just harder to, right? It's more difficult to. And that's why I'm saying society-wise, feminism is destroying the family. It is, because you have all these independent women out here saying they don't need a nigga, they don't need this, that, and the third. They get 35, they get 40. Now they looking for a man. Now they looking to settle down, right? By that time, fine. You might find you a man that's willing to settle down with you and build a happy home with you. But what happens if you meet a man that wants to have kids still, right? And now you're pushing that biological clock to where you can't have any,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
So it's like we got to think about certain things that we're pushing to the younger generation. You know what I'm saying? Like,
man, you just really put me on the spot here.
hey,
He
listen,
really put me on the spot,
this
didn't
is the
he?
Arsenyl Hill show, baby. We put
Hey,
everybody on the spot.
He really put me on the spot right here. He just put me on the spot.
Talk to me. Come on, what you
And
got?
I ain't gonna say you was wrong, you know. And like you said, it's a podcast, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. I'm a man. I'm a male, and yes, I would like, you know, I would like to have
More
kids.
kids. Fair. That's
Yes,
fair.
I would like to have more kids. Yes, I would.
That's 100% fair, and you're entitled to that,
Yeah.
right? Now, let's say Sheila was raised during the time where this culture, right? Sheila's a little older. She has a little bit more home training and decency than a lot of these women out here have, right? So it's kind of bad using her as an example, but I'll say this. What if she was raised up during this time, right? Where she thinks niggas ain't shit. She chasing her career, which is, all of this is fine, right? But if we're thinking about the longevity of the world and where we're going to be in the future, I don't think this is a road that we want to travel down, right? We don't want to steer women away from building families. Like, we don't want to do that, right? This hot girl summer shit, like, leave that shit for the fucking kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is not something that a 30 plus, hell, I'll even high 20s, 28, 29. If you're like you're pushing 30 and over, like all that hot girl summer shit, like that shit should like be in the back of your mind, right? Like, let's say if you were a career driven woman, right? Fine, chase your dreams by all means, but at the same time, in the back of your head, I would hope you're thinking about starting a family, right? At some point in time in your life. I think the sooner the better, right? But again, women can have kids after 40. There's women out here in 60 still pushing out a kid. But do she really want to be doing that? Do she really want to be waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning every few hours to take care of her newborn child? No. Being 60, 50, I wouldn't want to be fucking doing that shit. 50 years old, I'm waking up every few hours to take care of a baby. I don't want to do that. I'm being straight fucking honest with you.
Arsenyl. I am 50 and my mate is 42 and he wants kids, so it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
And I have 3 grown children. It's just hard.
Now, do you want to have more? Is that
I would definitely love to have one more
okay?
for him
Okay,
because that's how much I love him.
that's
And I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
no. I'm not saying it is.
Some women be like, "Oh, you're too old." No, you can do anything you want to do.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you say, women are pushing them out at 60.
Yeah.
And I think I can handle a 3 a.m. Burp and sip.
You think so?
A burp and breastfeed. A burp and sip. Let me get you know.
I gotta say, Arsenyl, you wild as hell because I don't even think at your age you want to get up at 3 o'clock, and nobody wants
I
to get up
don't.
at 3 o'clock in the morning. So don't blanket statement that as women.
Okay,
Women
men
don't
too.
want- men-
But hell, I'll use
I'm
me as an
saying it,
example.
but, you know, I mean, if I had the child, I have to do what I have to do, is what I'm saying.
100%.
I'm not going to let the baby lay there at 3 a.m. because I'm 50.
Right.
I
No.
got to feed my child.
No, I'm not saying
But
that's
it's
it.
not.
No, you
Most
just did
women-
say it.
Most women don't want to have kids at 50, but I'm saying if it happens, it happens. Ain't nothing I can do about it.
Right. Yeah, like I said,
Period.
there's nothing wrong with that. I didn't say it was wrong.
I
anything
think
wrong with that.
40 you shouldn't still be having kids.
I just think feminism is doing this shit, bro. I'm sorry. It is. Like it's making women not care about having a family at all.
And I love to have I love family, period.
Yeah.
I think family is good for I'm from a different era. And I definitely believe in family, and man and woman should be married and have children, have their careers.
100%.
Amen. Praise God.
Hey, amen to that. Chat, man, y'all heard her, man.
I think you're getting things confused. Like, it's not feminism, man. It's expectation. The expectation, women's expectation nowadays is different than it was 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. And expectation is a motherfucker. Because
Right, but why is that though?
I'm getting ready to explain to you, sir. Because a lot of people, especially nowadays, they live off the internet. They comparatively live. So they compare their lives to somebody else's. If you even go online and you look at even dating apps,
Right.
a woman will have this entire ridiculous list of expectations for the type of man that she wants to get. And this goes back to your fresh and fit shit. They want this high value man, this, that, all of these fucking things. But not one time is there any talk of what they are offering in return. Nothing in return. But then it goes right back to what we're talking about being equally yoked. And when we're talking about respect, and we're talking about boundaries, and we talk about what's important for a woman and what's important for a man. The fact of the matter is we're all human beings, and we all desire and we're built for companionship.
Correct.
That shit is being lost in the whole sauce of everything.
Yeah.
But define your companionship though. Cause sometimes companionship can be misconstrued.
Right.
It can be misunderstood.
Right.
And a lot of people
By expectation.
it's
Right.
by expectation, and their companionship might not meet your requirements or your standards of companionship.
But see, doesn't that go back to feminism though?
Nope.
No,
goes
it
back to
don't.
being equally fucking yoked.
Yeah, but like,
Yo, listen, when you look for someone,
Right.
if I'm looking for a companion or relationship,
Mhm.
my expectation, in all honesty, my expectation that what they should meet is the things that I want and desire in that relationship.
right.
And that should align, she should align in that with me. Not the fucking money, not the fucking other shit, not all the monetary shit and all the superficial things.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's those core things that matter.
Right.
If I'm a man and I respect the love for this person and she respects the love for me, all those boundaries and all that other shit means nothing.
Absolutely not.
Means nothing.
100%.
100% nothing. If she wants to have a baby and we love each other, she could be 100 and have that fucking baby. And I just hope to God that she makes it through the goddamn pregnancy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it shouldn't fucking matter.
It really
None of it
shouldn't.
should matter. If
100%.
she loves me enough to bore me a child at 55, 58, 60, 49, whatever in the fuck, so be it. But then it's my responsibility as a man giving her that, or she giving me that child, us bringing that child into this, to be there,
Yeah.
to do the things that are necessary for me to be a father, necessary for me to be a partner and a companion.
Right.
But also, she should also respect your values and your morals and your standards as
Equally
well.
yoked.
Equally yoked.
Equally
Meaning,
yoked.
I want it to be sanctified. I want it to be right.
And the woman that you seek in that you found, right?
Right.
She's sanctified. She is what she says she is. She stands on her morals, her laurels, her values, right? And they align with yours, right?
True.
Yes or no?
I mean, they would have to be.
They would have to be.
They would have to be. Like, in order for it to work.
Because if they didn't, it would not work.
It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work.
So all that fresh and fit bullshit is bullshit.
It is. I agree.
And all of that shit.
I agree.
If you want to find what you want to find, then you're
to
going to seek that shit and you're going to find what it is. I just told my son today about fucking shit that he's dealing with.
Yeah.
Look, man, if it ain't working, it ain't working.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I told him straight up, if your thing is, I don't know what your thing is, but if your thing is you want a submissive woman and you want her to bow down and do all that shit or whatever in the fuck,
right.
I don't know what house you grew up in, but that's what your thing is,
not a black
then
one.
seek that out. Because you cannot make somebody do that.
Do that, right? Yeah.
That person has to want to do that.
Has to want it.
Yeah. Fucking believe in that same shit. If that's what it is you desire, seek it out. Because clearly you ain't getting it here.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Trying to bend, fold, or fucking wrinkle, or do nothing.
And it all boils from respect and trust.
Yeah.
The main thing is, you know, 100%. Respect, faith first.
Yeah, faith first.
Faith first.
100%.
Respect and trust.
Right. A woman is going to trust you to lead.
Right.
And she's going to follow your lead. She's going to trust that what you say and what you do is not going to lead her in any harm, danger, or whatever. That's part of your protection job. That's part of your shit as a man to that woman.
Right.
And part of her job to you is to give you that comfort because you out there with the shield. You out there protecting her from everything, emotionally, physically, mentally, the whole shit. But you need to be able to rest your head too.
But also need to listen and hear.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people can say, "Oh, I hear you," but they don't listen.
They don't. Right.
And then a lot of people listen, but they don't hear.
Yeah. 100%.
So if you do both,
come on.
You know, if you do both, it's more. Man, more stress. It's less stress. It's no stress at all.
Yeah.
No frustration. No timidness. You know, not being timid. Instead, you know what I'm saying, like being hesitant. And you can come to a happy balance.
Yeah. 100%.
A happy balance. It shouldn't be where it's that, oh, you just got off work, you're not happy coming home.
Right.
It should be, well, at least you know you're getting off work.
To come home.
To
your woman.
And you come home to your woman. It should be, you know, everything is not peachy and cream.
Yeah.
But it should be where you come home, okay, everything is everything.
So going back to what you said, Pops, is, okay, so let's just erase the word feminism then. Let's just erase the word feminism because right now I feel like it's just a dirty word being used online. It's being overly used.
Wait.
No?
No. I gotta focus on you right now. Because, bro, it's one thing to do things for sensationalism, and it's another thing. But you can't keep saying feminism, masculinity, this and that, and then turn around and flip the script and try to be like this way or that way. If your thoughts and your feelings are your feelings about whatever that is, then so be it. Stand on it.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot more respect.
Well, I mean,
more understanding. Because if you want me to give you understanding, then stand on what you stand on.
Right. No, respectfully.
I can't give you understanding on something if your thoughts are just purely like feminism is what's ruining relationships or masculinity in women is what's ruining relationships. Nah, if that's what it is, stand on that shit, bro.
It is though.
I'm saying there is nothing wrong with it. Stand on that.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's have a dialogue about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But don't.
No,
I don't like being pacified into conversations.
No, I'm only
saying, and you won't, and I'm not going to allow it to happen, even for sensationalism. So, if whatever your thoughts are, stand on that shit.
Damn it! Thought I got it.
Listen. My wife told me and asked me in the beginning of me starting doing all podcast shit. She said, "Aren't you worried about the things that you say?"
No,
I'm not. You know why? Because I stand on it.
Right. 100%.
And I could be wrong, I could be whatever, but I'm allowed my opinion, I'm allowed my perception, and I'm allowed my thoughts, and they are mine, and I will stand on it. Not to the point of fighting. I'll have I'll have communication and dialogue with somebody about them. But if I said that feminism is a fucking problem, and I said it, came out my mouth, I'm gonna stand on that. I'm not gonna backpedal. You know what I'm saying? So don't backpedal with me.
No, I ain't backpedaling.
No,
I
no,
said
you are.
No, no, no.
I'm sorry,
I
dude.
said
You are.
you're-
You started the whole
No.
shit by
Listen,
saying,
I said we get rid of the word feminism because you
No.
said that's not where. Maybe it's not feminism. Maybe it starts in the house.
No.
So maybe I
No.
should take out the word feminism
Well,
and
then
just
speak for
say
yourself.
it's at home.
Don't say we. I told you about that shit when one of the other shows. What's this we shit?
No,
Don't
I
say
mean
we. You didn't say maybe I should take out the word.
yeah, no. Well, I meant we like as a collective.
No.
But I mean I.
Yeah.
So
You want to get your point across better. Speak itself first, and then people will be better understanding of what it is you're trying to get across.
no,
You know
I
what I'm
want
saying?
to. Yeah.
I'm not trying to slight you or nothing.
No,
I'm
no,
just
no.
saying, like,
I
if
don't
we're gonna
feel
have-
slighted.
if we're gonna have dialogue, let's have that dialogue.
Yeah.
So
No, I don't.
If your stance is stand on that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
Because even when we get finished, your dialogue, I mean, not your dialogue, but whatever your stance is going to remain your stance unless I can show you and prove you different.
Right.
But
Which I don't think
just
you
stand
can.
on your shit.
No, I do. I mean, I do think feminism is fucking the game up. I do.
Thank you. What I say.
I do.
Now,
So why
instead of saying-
why it take you so long to even just say that?
I did say that.
No,
I did say
no,
feminism
you
is
didn't. You
messing
you
up the
you
game.
honestly,
What did I say?
no, you was going around.
Let's
You was
have the
going.
woman in the woman-
You was going around
Did
the
I not
question.
say feminism is? I didn't say fucking up the game originally, but I said feminism is bad for society. I said that.
Okay, but then what did you just say? You said let's get rid of the word.
I said let's get rid
Let's-
of. Hold on, but let me finish the context first. I said let's get rid of the word simply because you said okay, maybe we are oversaturated. Maybe it does start at home. Okay, so I'll stop using the word
I
feminism
said
and
in
say
my opinion.
and say
I
niggas
said,
just
no. I said in my opinion. Everything that I've been saying, I speak from my perspective.
right. I can't agree with
I
some
have-
of what
no,
you're
no,
saying.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm telling you right now is you keep saying this let's and we. Nah, speak from self.
All right.
So everything I've been saying, I've been talking about me, and
Right.
I've made that real clear.
All right.
So I'm not saying what we should do or what I think.
I mean, but that's
like,
what
I say what I think. What I think. What I
that's
think.
what I feel though. As a collective, that's what we should fucking
But
do.
you got to start with you first, bro.
I mean, yeah, I got to start with me. I am starting with me. This is how I feel. That's why I'm comfortable enough to say what I'm saying.
But you haven't been. You backpedaled though. That's what I'm saying. You backpedaled. You really are.
What am I backpedaling on?
No,
I think feminism
right.
is terrible for society.
And that's why I stopped you and I said, if that's what it's going to be, don't backtrack. Don't say that it isn't, and we should get rid of the word. Because if that's your true thoughts,
the
that's your
word.
true feelings, then keep that shit. Stand on
Just
that
keep
shit.
it. Keep it.
But I don't like the word.
The-
I don't like the word.
Contradicting.
I don't like the word feminism though.
Hypocritical
I'm just saying.
Critical and contradicting.
I don't like the word feminism. But I'm using the word because it's a word that everybody's familiar with and everybody can correlate
Everybody
to.
like who? You talking about everybody in this room? Everybody in the world?
The
Because if you
people.
speak on, no, that's what it means to you. Because I don't think she feels that way. I don't think he feels that way. And I'm sure the fuck don't feel that way.
Right.
And I've made that clear in my conversation. So
Okay.
be careful when you say we, let's. No. Start with yourself first, bro.
Okay, well, I don't like the word feminism. And I think we as a collective should stop fucking using the word.
Okay, but you got to start right there with you first. Why?
Yeah.
Why don't you like it?
Because what is it?
I don't know. You
What
tell
the-
me
like,
if you
what-
don't like it. If I don't like ice cream, I can tell you why I don't like ice cream.
The word is detriment to society. It's a word that's being used to boost up a woman's ego, so to speak. It is. That's what it is. That's what feminism is. I don't even know why it even exists. Right? So
Your thoughts are that feminism is a word to boost
boost up a woman's ego.
a woman's ego.
Correct.
Not for me.
Correct.
See?
So what is feminism to you?
Nothing really.
Exactly. So why are we even using
It's
it?
nothing.
Why are we even using it?
Wait. What's this we shit? She just said it doesn't mean anything to
I'm
her.
okay.
Okay.
She's cool with it.
Right.
So what were
That's
you talking?
probably
What's this we
other
shit?
women that boost them up, but for me, I'm already boosted on my own.
So what I'm saying is,
I mean,
okay, then don't use the word then, right? Like, what is F word to you, so to speak, right? Like,
nothing.
because I think feminism, the word feminism, again, is just to boost a woman's ego. That's all I think it is.
There are men out there right now that would think that you're absolutely crazy for saying that.
And that's
thinking
fair.
that,
That's
because
fair.
Feminism is not built and based on boosting a woman to feel superior or anything like that.
So
That's
what
not
is
a
it?
Boost. Am I a fucking woman?
What is it?
I'm giving you my thoughts as a man.
Respectfully.
That's all I can give you.
Respectfully.
But I think feminism is something that has been blown completely out of proportion by those kind of thoughts that you have right now.
Okay.
In all honesty.
So
I think feminism to me is a woman being independent. And because of constraints that have been held on women for having jobs that pay less than a man has or whatever, you know what I mean, brought that about. So fighting for rights to have equal.
But they have that already.
Whoa. Have equal opportunity. Nah, not necessarily. You can say that from where you sit. But until you're in that position, you don't understand and know what that means. Because you just said out of your own mouth that it's to boost women's ego.
Right.
That's not an ego boost.
To tell
if I'm looking for equality,
to say a man ain't shit.
Stop, bro. I didn't say that. I said if I'm looking for equality, that's not to boost my ego. If there are women, maybe there are women.
Feminism is not to boost a woman's equality.
Just said that shit. What you mean?
No, I did not say feminism was to boost a woman's equality. I said ego. Boost their ego.
I didn't say equality. I was talking about. My man just said you about listening and hearing, and your ass ain't listening or hearing.
You just said equality, though.
No, I was talking about equality. That's the thing. You weren't hearing me, bro.
All right.
I was very clear on what I said about what your thoughts were.
Right.
I was talking about feminism was about equality for some women. And the whole point of feminism in the beginning was equality.
Okay.
Getting the same amount of pay, getting the same amount of opportunities for jobs and shit like that. Are there people out there that take that to an extreme? Sure. Just like religion. There are religions. There's Catholics and Christians have been fighting for thousands of fucking years over religion. There's extremists in religion. There's extremists in those same thoughts of feminism and misogynistic. Whatever. There's same extremes to all of it. But the original shit was to have equal opportunity for things.
Yeah, but it's not. It hasn't stayed there though. It's now gravitated to what I just said
because of people like you.
How?
When your thoughts are that feminism is to boost a woman's ego,
because that's what's being portrayed.
Is that your thoughts?
That's what I'm seeing. It's not. That's what I'm seeing.
No. I asked you, was that your thoughts? I didn't ask you what the fuck you see. I asked you what the fuck your thoughts were.
My thought process is based on what I've seen.
Okay, so that's your thoughts.
Yes.
And from your perception,
that's what I see. Yes, that's what. Yes,
but 100%. I doubt that is the entire spectrum. I would.
I didn't say that.
No. I would put my life that it is not the entire spectrum.
It's a big portion of it.
No, for who? For who? Answer that. For who? It's a big portion for who?
From what I see.
Thank you.
From what I see, it's a big portion.
This is why I said speak. From your standpoint, not for everybody else, because you can't speak for everybody.
Right? No, I'm not saying I can speak for everybody else, but I can speak for.
I
can speak for a broad range of them, though.
How, Sway? Who's following you? Let me ask you this: when you walk out that door right now, do you have a league of people that say, "Arsenyl, go! You're speaking the truth, Arsenyl. Yeah, let's go."
No, but I probably have a car. But I probably have a league of people who probably think like me, though.
No, I didn't ask you that. Please listen, bro. Because if you're going to speak and say that you speak for people, you have to have people that understand you and know who you are in order for you to speak for them.
Right. Understand. Okay.
If you want to speak for me, you have to know me and understand who I am and how I walk and how I move every day.
Right.
To speak for me.
Okay.
Correct.
So
99.9% of the time, I am not going to let anybody speak for me.
Okay. Understandable. So would it be wrong for me to say that it is a collective thought that it's wrong to hit a woman?
Stay on task, bro. Let's talk about feminism. Okay, because you're bringing in something completely different. Now you're talking about something that is psychological, something that is trigger born, something that is born off of trauma, something that is born off of other shit.
No.
You are.
How?
Okay.
I
really hate to do this to you.
What I'm about to ask is.
Okay, go ahead.
Growing up,
please somebody chime in.
Growing up, you were taught that hitting a woman is wrong.
No.
Yes or no?
Wait, hold on. Stop right there. Because no one is taught to do something. No one is. When we talk about, we're just going to stay on task right quick because you asked the question.
Okay.
I grew up in an abusive household. Now I'm gonna break this shit down for you real simple and easy. My brother's father was a real pimp, a for real pimp. Not none of this shit that motherfuckers talk about. My mother was the bottom bitch. My mother took care of the house, took care of everything. I did not know that this man could not read or write until I was like 20 something years old.
Right.
But he was smart. He was smart as fuck. He was, you got to be smart to be a pimp. Anyways, but
Shout out to the pimps.
Real talk.
Shout out to the pimps.
So, but he was abusive. He beat the shit out of my mom all the time. Did he teach me? No. But what I saw was that was how you solve the problem. That's what was taught to me. What was taught to me was, bitch, get out of line, put her ass in place. And the only way to do that is to hit her motherfucking ass. And it took a lot for me to learn that. That right there. It took me a lot for me to learn that from myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a lot for me to unlearn that.
Okay.
He didn't teach me that. He didn't sit me down and say slapping a woman or doing whatever is the way to do shit.
Mm-hmm.
But the environment that I grew up in dictated that how I was going to problem solve and how I was going to use my critical thinking.
Okay.
So don't bring in something that is psychological and that is trauma born, because now you're getting into territory that you have no clue about.
Okay, but
no, there is no K, because abusiveness
mm-hmm.
is different than being a fucking feminist. Okay, so even as an analogy, it's a horrible analogy.
Well, what?
So get to your point.
I'm trying to. So the point that I was trying to make here is, yes, that's might have been your trauma experience growing up, but it was your trauma experience growing up. However, morally it was wrong. Did you not?
Did you not hear a word that I said? That is something that in my mind as growing up, as a child.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah,
that's what he's saying.
That's what I learned from what I saw. Not that I was taught.
I saw my mom get beat.
Okay. But so morally speaking, hell yeah, I knew shit was wrong. From a psychological, this is why I said this is totally different. From a psychological standpoint, if I don't understand what the fuck it is I'm doing, morals are out the window. Let me tell you something. If a man doesn't understand why he cheats on a woman, he's always going to fucking cheat.
Always, 100%.
So you don't even know where the fuck that comes from.
100%.
It doesn't come because a man wants to go out there and just fuck on everything.
Where does it come from?
It comes from trauma. It comes from shit. It comes from things. It comes from insecurity. It comes from fucking not understanding. It comes from not loving yourself. It becomes because of the mother that fucking hated so much that he now hates his mother and takes it out on other women. Come on, man. You going down a road you don't know.
I'm not, though.
No. You did by starting off with your analogy. So you did. You started off by going down your road. The analogy was, oh, let's talk about abuse.
No, I didn't say let's talk about abuse.
I was trying you were trying to make a point, but my point is that was the horrible analogy. It was a horrible metaphor.
Okay.
Horrible, because those two cannot align.
But what I'm saying is, if you know something, I feel like it can align, because again, I've seen my mom go through shit, right? But I knew that's not how I wanted to treat a woman.
Okay, but your upbringing and how you saw it,
right,
and mine, way different, bro.
I mean, respectfully.
You didn't grow up with a pimp. I grew up seeing things that I wasn't ever supposed to be privy to seeing. You know, I used to walk into rooms and there'd be orgies going on, and I thought everybody was fighting. Because that's child's thought. Why are they fighting with their clothes on? Shit funny, but it's not funny.
No,
I'm not. When I grow up,
I'm not trying to laugh and be.
No. But I'm saying that when I grow up and I'm not understanding a lot of emotions and a lot of feelings and a lot of shit.
Yeah.
My morality is out the goddamn window, especially when I understand sexuality. Because now I grew up in a house where everybody was fucking and doing all kinds of shit. This is what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
Morals are out the window because I don't have any morals. I didn't grow up with any fucking morals. I had to find them shits within myself.
Right.
You know what I did in turn? And I hate to get deep like this, but I drank since the age of 13, bro. I was a massive fucking alcoholic. Massive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I think about how much I drank and how much I used that drinking to suppress things and to suppress my behaviors and give me my moral compass.
Yeah.
Which was when I drank is really not give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? So again, back to the analogy, man. Horrible.
Okay. Might have been.
We're going to talk about feminism and talk about feminism. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about perception. Let it be your perception.
No,
you grew up
100%.
in different households, so
100%.
you say you've seen abuse, but shit. One man's trash is another man's kingdom.
I guess
I could probably not walk a foot in your shoes.
Right.
And
vice versa.
You could probably glide right through mine like it was nothing. You know what I'm saying?
True.
I'm not making judgment on you or anything, but I'm just saying everybody's different. How you seen it and you grew up. I grew up thinking in my mind, told my son today, thinking in my mind, all I ever wanted was a fucking family and to be a good fucking parent. Crazy thing is, I didn't know how.
Know how to, right.
So we can think, we can want, we can do all that shit all the fuck we want, but if I don't take charge of myself and I don't fucking have faith, like my man says, none of that shit means nothing, bro. Nothing. So if you're gonna, like I said, man, if you're gonna stand on something, stand on it.
And then, you know, that's why I come out. I liked that what you said about, you know, having faith, you know, because me being redirected with Christ, within Christ, and me accepting Christ into my heart as my Savior and my salvation. I believe and I trust in Him wholeheartedly.
Shout out Fambo. Shout out Fambo.
And you know, without Jesus, there was no way for me.
Right.
I just love Jesus Christ so much. You know, He's showing me daily, every second, every minute, every hour. And I believe in my mind, body, soul, and heart, and my flesh as well, Jesus is the Son of God.
100%.
And, you know, give Him all the glory and the praise. But, you know, the things that Mr. Heat said, you know, I always wanted a family to call my own, you know, and through the grace of God with favor, because, you know, a lot of people, individuals in the world, a part of the world, don't understand that we're here by favor and grace and mercy.
100%.
And without favor and grace and mercy, nothing will be possible.
100%.
You know, not to judge, you know, nobody or anything. I have nothing against nobody. Don't judge anybody. You know, whatever. It's not upon us to judge.
Yeah.
You know, only God has that.
100%. I agree.
And I understand everything that he is saying. I understand everything you are saying.
Mm-hmm.
But we tend as, you know, humans, we forget God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
We forget that. Because we're not here for ourselves. We're here for Him.
Facts. 100%. I agree. 100%. That's good shit right there, bro. That's good shit.
You know, He give us our thought. You know, thoughts. You know, that be the trick of the enemy.
Yeah.
And sometimes you put thoughts in your head that you don't need to put thoughts in your head. And I'm sorry for the trauma that you had to go through growing up.
Yeah.
You know,
sure.
That's a blessing. That's a blessing from Jesus, man, that you was able to overcome it. You know, and from what I'm seeing, that the Lord you are blessed and He's blessing you.
Nice. 100%.
And, you know, speak on the part of what Arsenyl said with my mom, you know, that's really like a real tough point with me, because my mom died in my arms. You know, my brother know that. You know, I stretched out across her, you know, to see that and to deal with that. The woman that gave birth to you to die in your arms. That's traumatic trauma. And, you know, I just take it to Jesus. That's all I can do. And it's a step by step. And I know she's in heaven. She's an angel smiling down on us right now.
To the lady upstairs.
You know,
shout out to the lady upstairs.
You know, she's smiling down on us right now. And I know we're covered in the blood.
For sure.
So I'm really
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out Fambo.
Shout out Fambo Podcast.
Wow, much love in the chat. Much love in the chat.
You know,
appreciate you watching, man. Appreciate you watching.
You know, shout out to Fambo. But I'm really enjoying this therapeutic podcast.
That's what we do here. That's what we do here. Whether it's we fight, we argue. The whole point of the show is to, we having a good dialogue. Yeah, facts. So that's the whole point of the show, you know. So
speaking of dialogue, that's something that I think is really missed in relationships. Not conversation, communication. Communication is missed in relationships.
I think the talking is there. I think it's just the understanding.
Communication.
Yeah, the understanding of the communication.
I can't understand you if you don't communicate with me.
This is true.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I can talk until I'm blue in the face, though, but what am I really saying?
If you do not communicate with me, I do not understand you. You must like if your significant other, if she communicates to you and you are listening and hearing, you're gonna understand what the fucking you're gonna understand the assignment. You know what I mean?
100%.
You're gonna understand what you need to do. You know, when I quit drinking, and I'm gonna say this shit. My wife had told me for years, quit drinking or this marriage is over. For years. And it never fucking clicked. I'm talking about never. 26 years, never clicked. I was like, oh, bitch, like you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Never clicked.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you this. One day, 3 years ago, bro, and I made drinks this big, right? This much motherfucking Chardonnay, the rest vodka. That was my drink, especially at home.
Chardonnay and vodka.
Yeah.
Shout out to the old heads out there.
No, that has nothing to do with old head. It means I drank not to be social. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I drank to black the fuck
be
out because I
good.
didn't like what was going on up here. I didn't have faith either. I didn't have any faith. I didn't have shit. I didn't have faith in the world, let alone have faith in myself. For whatever fucking reason, at that moment, I just made a drink. I was finna kick back and get fucked up. I was already kind of buzzed. And I sat down and she came in, you fucking quit drinking. You need fucking therapy. You need this. You need that. And I thought, like, at first, my initial thoughts were, and I told her, I said, clearly you don't know me. I need rehab. What's wrong with you? I don't need no fucking rehab. But that was my pride. Listen, though, that was my pride. I don't need no fucking rehab.
Yeah.
I got up, just made this drink because I was pissed off that she said I needed rehab. That's pride, right?
Yeah.
I poured the drink out. Uh-oh. Now we have a problem. I just made a statement.
Oh, by pointing it out, yeah.
I made a statement.
Yeah.
Not only to her, but I really just made a statement to myself. Fuck. And I'm a person who always talks about standing on your fucking toes and standing 10 toes down on what the fuck you say. What the fuck did I just do? Okay, fuck it. Week goes by. 2 weeks. No one believes it. And what happened with me was if the quitting drinking wasn't the fucking issue. You know what's
the
issue?
feeling you got from drinking?
No. Easiest shit I ever did was quitting drinking.
Really?
Easy. I never went to no goddamn AA. I never went to nothing. I have zero desire to drink. The fucked up part was a week or so after, everything that I did to control the inner shit, the drinking is what controlled all the inner shit. And not very well on top of that. It was like a pot with the top on it, and then it boils over. When now I can't manage all of these thoughts in my fucking head. I can't manage all of this shit, and I have to fucking sit the fuck down. I had a suicidal moment. I had all kinds of shit, and I had to really fall back on faith. I had to fall back on who I am as a person. I had to really, really conquer and really fight these demons, because them demons are fucking real, man.
They are.
They will haunt you to the day that you die if you do not do something about it. You know what I'm saying?
They are.
You called on the Lord.
Trust me, I have my own demons. Trust me.
In all reality, and the crazy thing is like, you know, I had friends that reached out to me that I didn't even think gave a fuck. Because when we get so secluded in our thoughts, so fucked up in our thoughts, we forget that there are people that actually care about us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I think and I talk nowadays, I think and I talk with that person that I know who I am, the person that I've always said that I was. I stand on that shit. If I tell a person I'm going to do something, I speak with intent every fucking time. And so this goes back to communication. Like, even communicating with people, I know what my intentions are. And if I speak with intent, and my intents are to be well and to be good with somebody, the only way I'm going to get that across is by communicating to them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And listening and hearing what the fuck they say. So if I call you on something, bro, it's because that's what you said. And I will invite anyone to call me on what I said, because one thing is for certain, I'm very mindful of what comes out of my mouth. It may come out with some curse words and everything else, but I'm very, 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 very mindful of what I say.
And the big thing about it, when you say about faith with God is love.
Right.
With love. And everything we've been talking about today on this podcast, God is love.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
we are loved. You know, so we got to have love in everything. You know, we love to. Prime example, you love to do this podcast. He loved to do his producing. You love your kids. You love everything. God is love, so he give us the love.
And that's what we're missing.
You know what I'm
That's what
saying?
we're missing.
And you know, it all boils down from the love.
Okay.
If we don't have the right type of love, which we already had it already, we just look up and call on him.
100%.
And that's what, you know, stands out beside no matter what's going on in our life is the love.
All right.
Because if we have the love that what God have for us, everything aligns right. Everything aligns right. And you know,
That could be hard.
it could be hard.
That could be hard.
It honestly be hard because we are flesh.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of things that can cause distractions.
100%.
You can get distracted by a lot of things. You know, and
Agreed.
it's just, man, you know, just to have that love.
Shout out to the chat, man. Everybody who watching the podcast live right now. You know, we just had it. We had to have a church moment, man. We had to. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jesus Christ himself. You know, but it feels good. That was different, man. That was different. We first time we talked about God on the show, and it feels.
No,
good,
you
man.
know, man, the gospel. You know, not to cut you off again.
No, you good,
sorry.
brother. You good?
You know, spreading the gospel and the good news is what you're supposed to do.
100%.
You know, spreading God's word and God's love. It's always gonna, you know, have that effect because that's what it is, the living word.
Right.
You know, whether everybody have their own perception, their own interpretations, their own dialogue, how they, you know, read it and receive it.
Yeah.
But once you open it and you get in it, you know, even if, you know, if you don't pick up the book, pick up the Holy Bible, you know, you have apps on your phone, you're going to, you know, download on your phone, pray, you know, meditate or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's a difference when you pick up that word.
100%.
It's a different when you pick up that word, like a shock value, ain't it?
Mm.
It's like a shock value, you know. And I don't want nobody to know like, well, he's too religious or anything like that.
Right,
it's about intimacy and a personal relationship.
Facts, man.
And
Facts.
you know, that's all I have to say about that. You know, but I just love Jesus Christ, man. I just love my Savior. He died on the cross for not just me, but for all. I just love my Savior, man. And Jesus Christ is awesome, man. He's
100%.
amazing. He's I'm about to get teary-eyed, man, on the podcast, but he's amazing. He's
100%.
amazing.
That's
He's amazing.
I told my son today.
He's amazing.
We shedded some tears together, and I told him, you know, you have to be able to discern that. And I'm not telling you that, but being able to discern the happy tears from the sad tears.
Yeah.
And even the sad tears, they're happy tears because you're understanding something, you're recognizing something. You know, it's just really a matter of what we do with it after the fact. You know what I'm saying? And again, me personally, when I'm sitting here and I'm listening to you and I'm thinking about you doing the show, this is probably the greatest thing that could have ever happened to you today.
Yeah.
Because I think that your show and what you want to do, this is a good example of what you should do. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And to be, for you, it's one thing to be sensational and have sensationalism.
Right.
And if that is going to be what it is going to be, then again, stand on it. And I think that you'll be better put and better placed with yourself. Same topic, same everything. But stand on your shit, bro.
No.
Stand on your shit. Don't wish-wash it. Don't flop it around. Don't backpedal. If your thoughts are what they are, so be it. And stand on it. You know what I'm saying? Because people will understand that way more and take it in way more than when they will if you're, well, I don't know. No. Just stand on your shit. You can still be animated and everything, but stand on your shit, bro. Because I stand on everything. All the shows that we have on this channel, if I'm involved in any of it, I stand on every damn thing that's being said. And I think before I speak, because there are people listening.
Yeah.
And there are people watching. And that's why I do like the mental health show on Sundays. And I don't allow any games, any laughing, or anything. It's a very serious matter because I understand and know that people are watching.
Right.
And by the way, I'm gonna give you a quick story, real quick, bro, about why
Story
I started the
time.
mental health show. Real quick. I don't mean to be taking over your show or anything, but so in this process of all this shit, me quitting drinking and everything, I was doing a show when this whole podcast channel, the whole thing started because I wanted to do this hip hop shit. My wife said, you know, always, you're supposed to be on YouTube a long time ago. You're crazy. You talk crazy. You say all this and whatever. So I decided to do it. So Unwrap is the original show, which is me interviewing artists and everything with my knowledge and everything of all hip hop and things like that, right? But I had another show that I was doing on Sundays called Sunday Sit Down with the OGs. And my thought process was that I'm going to have a show where I'm going to bridge the gap, me, single-handedly, bridge the gap between old hip-hop heads and the young heads and, you know, get some understanding.
Right.
One day, I'm having one of those days where I felt like anybody could get it. I felt like I wanted to smack the shit out of anybody and every fucking body.
I've had those days.
Two people that were on the show with me that did the show with me every Sunday. They did it remotely. I sat when the studio was in the other room. I sat in there, did everything while they did it remotely from different places. One was in Germany and the other person was here in Chicago, but they couldn't make it to the show. So every Sunday before the show, a half an hour before the show, we discuss some things, make sure all the technical shit is right, and then we go on. So the half hour, I'm like, my whole point in going in there was to say to them, we ain't doing this shit tonight. Because I feel like smacking the shit out of y'all motherfuckers, and y'all motherfuckers ain't even here. And everybody in this house, I want to drop kick in the chest. You know what I'm saying? I'm having a day, bro, and I'm not understanding what this day is.
Yeah.
I'm having a day where I don't give a fuck.
From the moment you woke up.
Period. So as I'm sitting there telling them, fuck this shit, fuck this show, fuck that, they're telling me, no, come on, man, blah, blah, blah. Half an hour flies by, and it's time to do the show. And they're like, well, it's time to do the show, bro. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? I was like, fuck it, do it. You know what I mean? The show was only 25, 30 minutes long anyway. So I said, fuck it, I'll muscle through this shit. Boom. Start the show. Blah, 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 blah. Hip hop, blah, blah. Everybody loves hip hop. Before I know it, everything we were talking about started to show itself in that show. Bro, you okay? You over there mean mugging. You're not really talking. You're not this, that. And we start talking about emotions. We start talking about feelings. Mind you, this show, nobody ever watched. With 0 viewers every fucking time.
Mm.
Before I even knew what happened, there was probably about 40 or 50 people watching.
Really?
Yeah. And the show that normally was 25 to 30 minutes ended up being 3 hours long. Dang. I woke up the next morning. I mean, I felt a little bit better after the show. I was like,
yeah,
you know, what the hell? What just happened? I woke up the next morning. I said, you know what? The show has to be changed. The show has to be called The Check-In. Everybody needs a place to check in. Not only that, but when I told those guys, they were with it. So I said to them, now we got to start. We can't just go on this show and talk about things we don't know nothing about. We got to do our homework. We got to walk the walk and talk the talk. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So what happened was that the show ended up being just me now. No, for real. Because I kicked the motherfuckers off because one was drinking every time he came on the show. We can't sit here and help people and do shit if that's what you're doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't drink. So what the fuck? I don't care if you drink, but please don't do that here. This is not the place.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm taking this shit serious because I'm understanding after the first show, I'm understanding this shit is helping. It's helping me. What the fuck?
More importantly, helping you, right?
Yeah. So I'm going through now, like when I have done so much research and shit for my own self fucking preservation and education.
Yeah.
That I understand things, thought process, behavioral modification, fucking redirecting thinking and stinking thinking and critical thinking and understanding, communication, all of these fucking things that I was lacking before. You understand what I'm saying? I do the homework. Now, listen, and this is my point. I went all over the place, but this is my point.
You good? Come on.
No,
Hey, I'm sure the viewers like it.
My point is that people are watching.
Right.
Since that show started, the very first day I wanted to talk about grief because I realized that that particular day I still had it grieved my brother. My brother got killed in 2000. I mean, not 2000, 1996. My mother had just passed away, 2019. I had never grieved them, period.
At all?
Never.
Yeah, that's a
I
long
called
time.
my son is named after my brother, and I called him Hey until he was fucking 6 years old.
No.
Hey and little boy. No, it's not funny.
Not to laugh.
That's true shit. Hey.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't bring myself to say my brother's name.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, shit, I'm about to tear up. What the fuck?
Come on, man.
No.
Shit, let him drop.
Relax, nigga.
Let him drop,
Trust
baby.
me, I'm in touch with who in the fuck I am. I don't
Let
need
him
you
drop.
to tell me.
Let him drop, baby.
I'm good. But so I did a show on grief, and this is my whole point about watching what you're saying and standing on what you say. So I did one of the first shows, second show was on grief. I read up on so much shit about grief that day, and I'm doing the show, talking, having a conversation. Somebody pops in the comments, and they say, "Holy fuck, I didn't know this show existed. I really needed to hear that right now." Their significant other, 6 months prior to that, had unalived himself. And they were grieving horribly bad, and they were thinking about doing shit to themselves. And they stumbled upon the show. Not stumbled, that was supposed to happen.
Yeah, no,
You know what I'm saying?
No, it was supposed to happen for him.
When I do like a show like that,
Yeah.
or whatever, like when I do the check-in, and also too, someone else stumbled upon it that I know personally that jumped in the chats and then asked for the link. I was like, what the fuck? My man's D-Neck. I'm like, what the fuck? What are you?
That's what's
He's
up.
like, man, I was watching this shit. He said, and he's a professional rapper. I said, he tours, does all that shit, right? But what I didn't know, and what a lot of people didn't know, that he is a licensed therapist.
Oh, shit.
And so he started to be on the show.
Oh, nice.
He's on the show now, probably 80% of the time. When he can, he's there. He's on the show, and because I speak on these things.
Aye.
But I say it because I believe that some people need a business card to understand. Some people need billboards. Meaning, I talk my shit in a certain way because I feel like some people only understand that. You may only understand me say, look, motherfucker, this is where the fuck you're fucking up at, right?
Right.
Another person may only need to hear, hey, why don't you take a breather? And what he does in that regard is he helps to explain some of the things the way that I'm saying it in a way that some other people can understand.
Okay. I get what you No, I get what you're saying. Yeah. It's like a moderator, kind of.
Yeah,
like a mediator.
Because
type
I'm
of
saying the right shit.
Right. It's just
for some people it may not resonate right.
Yeah.
For some people it may come off harsh and it may come off rude. And that's one of the things I say in the very beginning of that show. There's going to be things that are going to be talked about, and if you dream of bunny rabbits and fucking cotton candy and fields full of fucking unicorns and goddamn flowers and shit, this is probably not for you because we're going to have a real conversation about real shit.
Yeah.
And one of the main fucking things is accountability, right? And people don't like to be held accountable for their actions and their behaviors and their shit.
I've had my struggles with that word.
Yeah, so anyways, I said all that to say that about standing on what you say and be very mindful of what you say because there are people watching.
100%.
There are people watching. So if you're going to be doing the Arsenyl Hill show, if you want it to be strictly, purely entertainment, then let that be what it is. Then handle the entertainment. You feel me? If it's going to be harsh conversations, be prepared to have those harsh conversations. And my guy, stand on what the fuck you say. No, you haven't.
I do stand on what I say, Chad. I do. I might have separate opinions about certain things, but I'll never take back what I say. I'll never do that.
Again, you did not stand on what you were saying. You didn't. Because you flip-flop. You flip-flop.
If you ask me the same question, I'll give you.
We'll call a fucking horse a horse.
All right.
We'll call it, if it quacks like a duck, walks like a duck,
it's a fucking duck. Hurt.
So, and there's nothing wrong with that. Facts. Nothing wrong with that. But if that's what you're going to do, then let that show be that. Then flip-flop, wishy-washy, everything. But if you want to be Arsenyl Hill and be Arsenyl Hill and stand on what the fuck you say, because people are watching, and if you are truly concerned about those that watch, then stand on what you stand on, bro. And if that shit is, hey, I hate fucking white people, then be that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah. And if your stance is feminism is whatever, then stand on that shit.
Yeah, no, I
But
do.
Do your homework and know what you're talking about before you say it. You know what I mean? Because there are
100%.
people listening. That's my whole point. There are people listening. There are people that are going to take what you say literal.
Verbatim.
It's like we talked about
Fit.
fit.
Yeah.
There are people out there that are taking that shit very literal and very serious.
No, yeah,
They
you're
may
right.
be entertaining.
You're right.
And they may be thinking they're entertaining. They may even be thinking that they're guiding and leading people to the right direction, and they're probably 100% not. So be
Agreed.
mindful. Just be mindful of what you say
Agreed.
and stand on that shit, man.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about, man. Hey, man, it's the Arsenyl Hill Show, man, where we drop gems every fucking day. All right. Shout out to everybody who tuned into the podcast, who watched it today. We here the same time every Saturday, 3 o'clock, with the same bullshit. Shout out to the Unwrap crew for holding the Arsenyl Hill Show down. Shout out to my guests that came through and gave us their opinions. Beautiful opinions, by the way. Hope they stop by and give us some more tunes to their opinions. Sheila, Dion, say what's up to the chat. Say bye to them, man.
Goodbye, everyone.
Hello. Goodbye. Thank you for tuning in to the Arsenio Hill Show. It's been a blessing.
You guys
God
know what
bless.
it is. You know what time it is, baby. Until next time, we up out of here. That was good, man. I like that, man. I like that.